This podcast is not a substitute for a relationship with your mental health professional. Hey, family. Welcome back to another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. Oh, and family, I am so excited to be here with you again this week on the podcast. I'm excited. Oh my goodness. Okay, family. And so, before we get started, if you are not a part of the family, I would love it if you please join the family and click that subscribe button and subscribe to the podcast. Please like the podcast and share the podcast. And oh my goodness, I'm going to challenge you to comment. If you're watching on YouTube, comment on the podcast. If there's questions that you may have or comments, something that you may like or maybe that you don't like. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's respectful, I want to hear what you have to say. So comment because I'm here for it. As I always say, if you feel froggy, then jump. All right, family. And new family, we want you here. I want you here. This is a space where you will be, because of the intention, I'm claiming it, you will be empowered, you will be educated, you will be inspired to live your best life. Your best life abundantly. All right? Okay. So family, today we are going to speak about I'm going to talk to you about transitioning into 2025. Family, are y'all ready to transition? Are you ready? Are you getting yourself together? Are you thinking about 2025 and what it's going to bring you? Are you thinking about 2025 and does it give you some anxiety because you feel like you have to perform or that you really don't know what you want or what you're thinking about 2025? Or are you like many people that are saying, I just want 2024 to be over? And so come on 2025 without even knowing what 2025 is going to bring. What's your stance on 2025? Put that in the comments because I literally want to know. What are you thinking about 2025? And have you thought about transitioning, how you are going to transition from where we are now, just before Christmas, a couple of days before Christmas? Are you thinking about how we're going to transition from now, from Christmas Eve into the new year? Well, we have about 10 more days left. We have 10 more days, family. Are you thinking about the transition, what it looks like? Well, here I am just to kind of bring your mind into the awareness of the transition and the process so that you won't feel some feelings that are uncomfortable during the process, if that makes any sense. Because sometimes through transition, we can become anxious, really anxious because of the unknown, because we don't know what's going to happen and what could happen. Sometimes we can become depressed during the transition because we might be feeling like, I'm in one situation and I want to be in another through this transition, but I just can't see myself there. So I feel hopeless about what it looks like, or I feel helpless, like I can't get there on my own. So let me give you some steps to healthy transitioning so that you can get yourself ready and understand that there's power in the transition and that transition is necessary. Okay, so we're just going to start off, family, with just thinking about how to move through this transition and to move through it in a healthy way. With my number one suggestion for you would be, as you are transitioning from 2024 into 2025, slow it down a little bit. Stop thinking about, what's going to happen and what you think and what ain't and what you missing or what you're going to gain. You don't need to think about that just yet. The first thing I want you to do is reflect on 2024. I'm encouraging you to reflect. Go back. I want you to think about all of the lessons that you've learned in 2024, all of the mishaps or missteps that you made in 2024. Because as I'm going to remind you, as much as it comes up for me, is that every single thing in life that happens, it happens just as it's supposed to. So for all of the things that happened in 2024, as uncomfortable as they may have been, I am here. Your girl is here to let you know that they happened because they were supposed to, and they happened for your good. For your good. And sometimes, family, your good may not feel pleasant. It may not feel pleasant to you, especially in the moment. But inevitably, you will find out that it will work out for you. And even if you've experienced some kind of loss, as I did in 2024, loss is a part of life. And as we go through loss, if we do it in the healthiest way, what it does is it teaches us a few things, okay? That life is not fair. That's number one. But it also teaches us how, through that loss, we can become stronger. So a lot of times loss increases our strength. Sometimes we could be in these situations where we've experienced some kind of loss. So this could be loss of a loved one. This could be loss of a relationship, the loss of a job, loss of friendships, loss of some finances. But through the loss, although it is painful, losing the norm, what feels normal to us, what we've done for a long time and what we've been used to or accustomed to. When we lose that, it can be painful. It can really feel uncomfortable. But on the other side of the loss is where you will find strength. Because if you've been experiencing a loss, you'll know as you're going through it, as you're going through it, it can be very painful, extremely painful. However, if you can endure the pain and get through the other side, you will see how strong you really are. So you'll increase your strength and see your strength after experiencing some kind of loss. So as I'm saying, loss of whatever, or mishaps that you may have had if you've been in situations or engaged in conflict, whatever it was, whatever has happened in 2024, go back, sit, process, think about it, let it come up. Don't push it down. Reflect on the situation, reflect on any of the lessons that you have gained through those situations. So if they were mishaps and if those situations were to happen again, you can make the choice and you have the power to choose to do something else so that you don't repeat whatever that mishap was, and so that you can break cycles. And a lot of times they are dysfunctional cycles that we play out and have lived because of our childhood trauma. So we cleaning all of that up. We are looking back and reflecting on 2024. And we are really going to look at all of those things that have occurred in our lives and as lessons so that we can be set up to have a successful 2025. And so we don't repeat those same situations or scenarios because we got the lessons. We got the lessons, God. We got the lessons, God. We don't want to repeat it. Okay, so let's go back and let's get it. Let's rack them up. Sometimes you may need to journal about them, write them down. Oh, I remember when this happened and I didn't feel this way. Or I remember when this happened. Or I remember when I said this. I remember when I did this. I remember when I took this. All of the missteps. This is what happened. So I got it. What was I supposed to learn from that? Let me get it. Okay, I learned it. All right, now it's time for me to move on. Because in the 2025, I'm taking the lesson. I ain't taking the behavior or the mishap. All right, so that's number one. Number two, family, I want to ask you, what do you want? Be clear about what it is that you want for 2025. So instead of us just willing it and saying, okay, 2025 is coming and ooh, I'm over with 2024. But you just think that it's just going to magically appear, which it will. However, but all of the things that you desire without actually thinking about them and being clear about the direction that you want, just to assume that it's going to show up, might not be the best assumption. What I would want you to do, what I'm encouraging you to do is to already kind of think about, to ask yourself specifically, self, what do I want? What do I want for 2025? Let me just think about what goals can I set for 2025? Now, I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions. I'm not talking about those because most people fall off of those the second week in January. So we ain't talking about those. I'm really asking you to be clear and to ask yourself, what do I want? If I had a magic wand and I could just wave it and my dreams would come true, what do I want? What would I want for 2025? Because that's what we start with. We're not starting with our 5-year plan. Like sometimes I work with clients on a 5-year plan. We work our way back. No, family. I'm starting y'all off right here where we are. We got 10 days left. What do I want for 2025? So in that same little book that I'm hoping that you're journaling, as you're journaled about your mishaps from last year, 2024, I'm already talking about last year. From 2024, we journaled our mishaps, our missteps, okay? And then we learned those lessons. We got the lessons. We done wrote them down because we taking the lessons into 2025. Right under that, why don't you take a couple of pages to kind of journal your dreams and your thoughts and your wants? Your wants for 2020. Get clear about it. Do I want to buy a new house? Do I want to buy a new car? Do I really want to? Why am I buying the car? Is it a smart decision to make? Do I want to buy assets? Okay. Like what is it that I want? Do I want to increase my retirement fund? Do I really want to become a millionaire? And how do I go about it? Nowadays there are so many more millionaires than there were years ago. So if that is a goal of yours, it can be accomplished, but not until you claim it. So you have to identify with what it is that you want. You have to identify with that if that is what you want. So once you identify and you become clear about it, now you can do the next thing is create a plan so that you can achieve it. Just that simple. Create the plan so that you can achieve it. We're talking about transition as we are transitioning into 2025. That's what we're talking about. So as I'm saying, family, get clear about what you want. Then when you can identify what it is specifically that you want, do you want to open up that business, that baking business, because you make the best biscuits on the West Side? Do you want to? Is that it? Do you want to open up I don't know, a jewelry business where you're creating jewelry and you adding crystals so that people can get experience and connect to new energies in the universe. Like, is that what you want to do? And you want to do that on the side? Is that what you want? What is it that you want? Do you want to become closer to your children? Is that a goal for 2025? Is that what you do? You want to become closer to your parents, to family members that you whom you haven't seen? Do you want to go back and reconnect with old friendships or friends? Do you want to build better, stronger friendships with your friends? What do you want? It's so easy. Our brains are miraculous. They only about 3 pounds, 3 pounds of deliciousness. And just like a navigation system, that you have on your phone, all you have to do is put it in there. All you have to do. So as it comes up, you just be clear about it. You just be clear. Sit down and be clear. You can write it down about what it is that I want. Once I know what it is that I want, I am placing it in my navigation system. And trust me, baby, it does not miss. I'm going to get it. And you are going to get it too, because the reality is all of the things in your life, you've created them because of how you think, even if it's unbeknownst to you that the thought was in your head. Well, working with me right now, I am going to tell you that you have power over those thoughts. You have power over creating your dreams. You have power over creating your wants. But first, you're going to identify, what do I want? All right. Then number three. That was number two. Number three is, what's the plan? What's my plan to get in there? Do I need to take out $5 every time? If my goal is, if I have a financial goal, do I need to take out $5 more every time I get paid? Do I, if I want to start a business, is that it? Do I need to go look at loans? Do I need to go start making relationships with banks? Put your plan together. Put it together, because it's for you. What you desire desires you. What it is that you want. Come on now, and let's put this plan together. I always like to kind of give y'all a little story, and I give you a story of whatever comes up for me when God tells me what I'm gonna talk about. I come on here and I'm like, I'm talking to my family today. I want to give them something good. It's going to be real short, So as I was thinking about transition, God just reminded me of me in a struggle. Okay. Not too long ago, I went to Mexico. And I went to Mexico with one of my good friends. I love, love, love my friends. Let me just say, because, I get on here and I talk a lot. And I mention people and I mention people's names. And I said, you know what? Maybe I should probably get consent before I mention the people's names that I mentioned, because they may not want nobody else to know, you know what I'm saying, that they was down with me and doing what I was doing. So I'm gonna hold off on the names, but one of just my friends, like my family. So anywho, we go on this trip, and while we're on this trip, um they talked me into going on this lazy river, down the lazy river. Now, I will say this to you. Before I moved to Texas, and I moved to Texas, I've probably been in Texas now for about 17 years. But before I moved to Texas, in New Jersey, okay, I didn't really know much about getting ready to say something else. I didn't really know much about a lazy river. So it really took for me to come to Texas to learn about, you know, just I guess floating down a lazy river. It's just something I just didn't want to do. And let me tell you, even when I lived in Jersey, I am a world traveler. And and in Texas, a world traveler. But just being in a river and being lazy just was never my thing. I'm not a girl who swims. That's not my thing either. I do have a little fear of the water. Okay. And I did tell you guys on a episode a while ago, it was the episode where I was telling y'all to just jump, that one of the things that's on my bucket list, it was on my bucket list, was to be on a yacht and to jump off of the side of a yacht into the ocean. And I did that. I crossed that off the bucket list. Now, it ain't because I know how to swim, okay? It was because I had on 2 life vests, and I had on probably a daggone a buoy, okay? And I had 2 lifeguards like standing down in the water, who I kind of paid on the side to help me get this thing off my bucket list, but they were like supporting me. So I had support. But through the support, I jumped off the side. And where'd that come from? I think one time I had watched Beyonce some years ago, and I watched a video or something, and she just jumped off the side of a yacht in the water, and she went down and she came up and she was just swimming like a mermaid. So I was like, oh, and that just put a little sting in my mind where I was like, okay, that little stain in my mind, I want to do that one day. So anywho, I did do that, and I did that in the islands of Belize. Okay. So that was then. However, I'm no swimmer still. So now I'm with my family and friends, and we're in Mexico. And they say we're going to go down the lazy river. Now, I done heard of the lazy river before. Here in Texas, a lot of people do it in Austin. They go down the lazy river. I'm talking to clients, and they may have a story. They've been, okay. It's never my desire. But anywho, because I don't really swim. Let me say I don't swim. But my friends were like, we're going to go in the lazy river. We're going to do the lazy river. So I'm like, the lazy river. Oh, okay, Andrea, this is your year to come on now. Stand up. Stand up. Fear nothing. Bust through your fears. Bust through your fears. Because family, as I tell you, as I inspire you and I encourage you to become your most authentic self, I am always on a journey of becoming my most authentic self. And we don't stop until the Lord says it's over. Okay? And y'all know what that means, until your last days. So you should always be learning. You should always be growing. You should always be expanding. All right? So here I go facing my fears. So they said, come on, we're going to go down the lazy river. So I said, okay, we're going to go down this lazy river. But I'm asking all the questions, okay, before we get there. Like, okay, and then what happens? And then, okay, so we're going to get a vest. We're going to get a life vest on. Okay, now, are there people who are going to be watching us? Or how many lifeguards are out there? Okay, so then I get to hold on to what was it? I held on to a floaty. Well, how strong is the floaty? Now, who could get in the floaty? Anywho, we get to the lazy river. We get off. Trust me, my anxiety is, let's just say I teach on the scale of 0 to 10. My shit was probably at 8. It was at an 8. It was a good 8. And the people that I was with, my family who I was with, my friends, honey, they, this is what they do. They swim. They probably don't even have no anxiety. So they're like, come on, Andrea, let's do it. Let's do it. So Andrea goes, when we get there and we see they got tons of life vests. There was nobody there to help us with the life vest. Like, I need somebody that has a degree in life vest. Like, I need somebody there who can measure my waist, measure my bust, measure my arms, and tell me this is the right life vest that's going to keep me alive. That's what Andrea needed. However, there was nobody there, honey. They had a whole bunch of them. They had hundreds of them, okay? And they had them in sections: small, medium, large, extra large. How do I know which one fits me? Then, just as we get there was another couple who was there. And the couple started to talk about, oh my goodness, we were here yesterday. Remember when my brother Harold fell off? My brother Harold, he fell off. So she looked at us and she said, oh, make sure that you put the vest on tight. And then there was an extra strap that was under the bottom. So the girls that I was with, my family that I was with, they was like, they ain't need to buckle up the bottom string, you know what I'm saying? Because they know how to swim. So the lady was like, Harold didn't have his bottom thing hooked up. And so he just floated off of his floaty and he was just in the ocean. Okay, so y'all could come on now. Where's the anxiety now? It's at a 10. So I say to them, listen, y'all, Why don't y'all just go ahead? Because I don't think this is going to work for me. I know I'm here. I'm supposed to be standing up, busting through fear. You know what I'm saying? I'm meeting the challenge. I'm here. But, like, what? It's just not, it's not coming to, like, where's the professional? Who has the degree, the license, invest? Nobody's here. Just this lady talking about her brother Harold that lost the floaty in the ocean with the vest on. Okay. So my family, they say, come on, girl, come on. They laughing at me. But I'm like, no, I'm so serious. So they like, no, come on. So anywho, I go up there and I'm looking. I am like Goldilocks, okay? Which bed? Which bed is mine? Do I need the small? Do I need the medium? Do I need the large? Okay, I'm Goldilocks. But some said, okay, come on. I'm looking at people. I'm like, okay, I think I need it tight enough, but then not too tight. So I put my vest on and I go over. And as we go over, there's a person there, a person, not over there where I needed him to be to tell me what was going to keep me safe. But there was a person who was giving out the floaties that we were taking. He was giving the float, getting everybody a floaty. And then people was just taking a floaty and getting in it and getting in the river, taking a floaty and getting in the river. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much for me. I'm supposed to be on vacation. Me coming here, I'm supposed to be releasing all of the things and being present. But I got life decisions to make. Like, this is some heavy stuff. Anywho, I'm watching everybody. So they go to give me a floaty. They didn't give me an option because they had the floaty with two people could get in the floaty. And then they had the option with one people getting the floaty. Well, I'm going to tell y'all the truth, family, because I always come and I'm always transparent with you. I wanted to get in a double floaty because I wanted somebody else, one of my family members, one of my friends who I was with, I wanted them to be in the floaty with me, got me, so that they could, I could chill with them. If we was going down, we was going to go down together. We was going to fight together because I ain't going to just go down. I'm going to fight. So we going to go down together. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking a double floaty. Well, guess what? I was the last one in. Everybody else just got in and got their one floaty and they floated off. There was nobody to get in a double floaty with. So Andrea, I said, okay, you got to be a big girl. The lady was handing me the floaty. Was more people in the back of me. They like, come on, let's go, come on, move. So I had to move forward and I took the one floaty, got in the floaty. And as I got in the floaty, I was nervous, but I get in and they put, hey, family, come on over here because I have something for you. Starting off with a go to guide for keeping your minds healthy and strong. This right here is the Bible to mental health. It's your mental health Bible. The name of it is Six Pillars to Power Up Your Mind and Make Mental Health a Lifestyle. Everything that you need to know about keeping your minds healthy and strong is in this go to guide. Where you get it from? Well, you get it from awisebrown.com/shop. But in this go-to guide, honey, in this mental health Bible, you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out the benefits of aromatherapy, and how it can shift your mood. But guess what? You don't have to go any place else to look for your aromatherapy because your girls got you, okay? You can get some aromatherapy here. This is aromatherapy is in this candle. This is called a slice of happiness. It makes me tingle, like literally makes me tingle. A slice of happiness. This is a cruelty-free candle with no parabens, no formaldehyde, and no known suspected carcinogenics. Now, you go out here and you find these candles that smell good, but are they good for you? Are they good for your brain? Come on now, get real with yourself. Well, this one smells delicious and it's good for you. Made with essential oils. It's a soy candle. Amazing. Uh, you can burn it or you can just walk by and smell it. Lord have mercy, it's so good. Okay, so that's your candle, your aromatherapy, which raises the dopamine in your brain. That's your natural feel good neurotransmitters in your brain. All right, y'all. And oh, I'm a part of you. You're a part of me. We are a family. We got hoodies now, and these are unisex hoodies, and they wear well, they wash well, and they feel so good. So you can wear them over your clothes, you know what I'm saying, and look dope, or you can wear them as your clothes with nothing under them, which I like to do often. And when you travel everywhere, I mean, every time I wear them, I'm moving around. People are always asking me whether I'm traveling, going to the supermarket. What's that? Who's that? And I'm like, mental health is a lifestyle. Because see, this is on the back. Okay? They come in white and they come in black. I'm like, join the family. Mental health is a lifestyle podcast. So there you go. Family, don't you ever say that I ain't give you nothing. You get all of these things from awisebrown.com/shop. All right? I got your goods. I got you. You don't have to go anyplace else. I'll see you on the other side. And they push me off. And so I don't feel the bottom, but I'm kicking my feet. And my family, they right there. And we starting to move. So as we moving, we on this lazy river and we're moving like through the jungle. So it was really beautiful. Like at the moment when I started to float and I realized that if I just hold on tight, the poor floaty, y'all. If I just hold on tight, I almost popped it. Okay. I was holding on so tight. And I had my vest on and we were just floating through the river. And then one floaty would push into the other. So you really couldn't get anywhere because you was in like a forest. And it was beautiful. It was amazing. Then I started to settle in and I grounded myself and I felt like, okay, this is amazing. This is really amazing. So I was present. I became really present and I started to understand this is why people love the float. This is why they love floating down the ocean, the lazy river. Okay, they like the lazy river. This is it. I'm like, okay. So it's now we moving and we all moving together. Now we meeting people. So now I'm chilling. Now I got one arm on and one arm off. Okay? Because I feel safe. I'm alive. And it's fun. And it feels good. Push through my fear. Anxiety went down. My anxiety now is not at a 0, but it's at a good 3.5 because it started off at an 8. As we going through the jungle, you can't go but so far because the jungle's on this side, the jungle's on this, and it's beautiful. It's not a mosquito around, not a fly, not a bug. I got my family, we chilling, we laughing. I got one of them, she taking videos and I'm like, get me. You know, we like, look at me. I'm ready. I'm happy. Now, anxiety is down to like a 2. I'm like, oh, this was amazing. I look at my sister friend, I'm like, you know what? This is amazing. I'm so happy you got me to come do this thing because this is lit. She like, yeah, Dre, you good. You good. You good. So even if I start to move over, we bumping into each other. And it's funny to me. Look at me bumping into you on my floaty. One hand floaty. Look at me. I got one hand. Look at me. Right. So then, okay. So then we moving. So now I'm noticing that we really moving through transition. We are transitioning from one part of the river, the ocean, to another. Okay, we transitioning, and through this transition, it feels good. It feels safe. I feel supported. We doing good. This transition is working. But I know that there's a goal because as we transition, all of a sudden, here we come. It opens up. So now it's big. The ocean is big. And so now as we floating through the ocean, the current is starting to take us wherever the current is wanting to take us. Come on, life. Okay, I'm going to draw parallels to life through transition. So the current is just taking us wherever it wants to take us. But so now they got other little things that you can do there. So you got some people jumping off piers into the ocean and then people taking pictures. You got a lifeguard over there. So I'm like, okay, there's a lifeguard. Because now the jungle is not snug. But now it's just open. So Andrea I don't know where I'm going. But I still got my family, not too far. So now Andrea puts her hand on both sides. I'm back on both, the hands is on both of it. Okay. So I got hands on both, but I'm still chilling. The anxiety is probably at a 4 now. It was at a 3. It was like at a 2. Now it's at a 4. Because now the ocean is open. And this would be cool if we were just going slow. But all of a sudden, the current is starting to pick up. And so now as we laughing and we talking, I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm thinking about the plan, going through transition. I'm thinking about the plan. What is the plan? Okay, y'all. So this is all right. This is fun. I'm having a great time. Okay. What's the next move? So now they say, oh, okay, this is where we're going to get off. We're going to get off these floaties, and they pointed to where we're going to get off at, right? I'm like, oh, okay. But it was way down. So here we go. We just moving and we moving. So the river is pretty much just taking us. It's taking us. And as much as, I'm like, but wait, hold on, y'all. I'm kind of moving over to this side, but I need to be going over there because that's what I want, right? Think about life and going through transition. And sometimes we want to be where we want to be, where we think is the safest space to be without knowing all of everything else, right? Without having any awareness of where we are, because this is new. This is uncharted territory. I am in the unknown. Okay. So as I'm see myself floating, I'm saying to them, hey, y'all, because they like floating one way. We gonna stop and take a picture. What? I'm by myself, damn it. Like I'm moving over. And then my thought is, listen, if Andrea was on her feet, even though y'all know that one is broken, it's healing though. But if I'm on my feet, if I'm in my car, if I'm on a motorcycle, if I'm on a bike, and y'all want to go do what you want to do, y'all go do what you want to do. I'm Andrea gonna be okay. She gonna find her way. But Andrea is floating away, and Andrea can't swim. Andrea is on water. Andrea is in uncharted territories, and Andrea is a Pisces, but she ain't a true Pisces when it come to being able to swim like a fish. So now they floating and they moving, they gonna take pictures. So I'm like, okay, all right, Andrea, accept what is. It's okay. You're safe. Even though I'm like, hold on, I'm floating. So then my friends, they like, kick your feet. If you kick your feet, you'll come back over. So they telling me what to do. This is my support system. Kick your feet, kick your feet. And I'm like, I'm kicking my feet. And I'm just going my own way, my own way. Anywho, through this transition, although it became really tough, now the anxiety is really starting to rev up because now it's at a 5. And then it's getting up to a 6. But now my family now have caught up to me. So they know how to work their floaties. I don't know how to work my floaty. The river's just taking me. And they just talking so calmly. Oh, you just kick like this. Oh, you just turn like this. Oh, switch it around and go backwards. Oh, I'm like, I am barely holding on. But okay. As we start to get closer to where we're going to depart, Andrea has had an amazing time. This has been fun. It's really been delicious. However, it has raised my anxiety when I felt like I had no control through the transition of coming through the forest when we first start, where it felt safe and calm and fun, to now being out in the unknown, where the current was just taking me wherever the current wanted to take me to. It wasn't where Andrea wanted to go. It was where the current was taking me. And it was in a different direction than where I felt like my people were. However, I literally had to relinquish control and allow myself, honey, to let God, because there you go. Y'all already know that's number 4. I had to let God, the current, take me on home. And so as I relinquished control and allowed the lazy river, but I'm going to say God, I grounded myself to kind of take me home. I started to kind of float through this transition. And this transition is difficult because I don't know where I'm going to end up, because there's so many other places to port. But the plan was to port at F, because that's where everybody's porting. But why is Andrea's floaty going to Z and X and Y? And at least that's what Andrea felt. So as I'm starting to float in a different direction than where I'm supposed to port, the anxiety is now at an 8. But now I'm going. And I'm going. So now I'm listening to what they said and I'm yelling back, y'all, what do I do? I'm starting to float away. They like, relax. I'm like, if I and relax, it's going to take me down. Ain't we supposed? They like, no, everything's good. Relax. So I say, okay, you know what, Andrea? I'm going to relax. That's what I told myself. I said, I'm going to relinquish and I'm going to let God. You know what, God? If you want me to be down on another side of this island, like Gilligan, shipwrecked somewhere, then I guess that's where I'm going to end up. I had to relax and relinquish control and let God. But I promise y'all, family, I was floating away and it was not in the direction that I was supposed to be floating in. But through this transition, I had to trust in a source that was higher than me. Because as much as I tried to kick like they told me to kick, I wasn't making no progress. And as much as I tried to turn like they told me to turn, I wasn't making no progress because the water just turned me right back around. And then as I started to move the way they told me to move, the current was moving me in a different direction. So at this point, with all of my efforts, I just had to relinquish control and let God. God, am I going to be Gilligan? Am I going to be shipwreck? Am I going to be like Ginger and Marianne? What? The professor? What? Where's my destiny? So as I let go, then all of a sudden, my sister friend came out of nowhere, jumped off her craft and pulled me in. And then another family member pulled me in. And then another family member pushed me in. So my reality is I got to the destination. I got there. How did I get there? Had to trust the process, had to relinquish control. And then I realized that God had the plan for me. He saw the plan. He knew what we was doing. He knew what the goal was. But then I had to trust him and relinquish. And he gave me the support that I needed. Because the truth was the transition was difficult. And for some reason, that through this transition, the current was taking me in a totally different way. The river was not so lazy. Somebody lied. They was fighting me. But guess what? Through that, God was like, boo, as soon as you let go through the transition, I got you. I'm going to take you home. And they took me home. And we hit it. We hit the destination. We hit it. X marked the spot. We got off and it was amazing. And then you know how people do when I got off. I was like, oh, that was y'all want to go do it again? You know, guys, I was like, you know what? Anytime somebody talks about floating down a lazy river, I'm just like, I did that. Oh, I did that. But the reality was scared as a chicken. But what I did was, come on now. What I did was I trusted in the plan. And then I had to relinquish control and trust in God, and he delivered. So family, as we are preparing and are in transition to 2025, I'm going to say, I want you to take some time first and reflect on this year. All my mishaps, all your missteps, all of the things. Reflect on those things. Reflect on them so that you know this ain't what I want to repeat, and then you won't repeat it. And then I'm going to ask you, what do you want? Where's your destination? Where are you trying to go? What are your goals? Come on, get clear about them. Write them down so that you can see them clearly in your head. And then I'm going to say, what's the plan? Create a plan to get there. What's the plan to get there? And then through the transition, you got your plan. You got your plan. You know what you want. Trust God. Sometimes during the transition period, it gets rough. It gets scary. Sometimes you just can't really see how you're going to get to your destination. But trust God. Because you don't have to know it all. And you will get there. I know it to be sure. I know that to be true. It's happened to me too many times in my life. But I just gave you the example today of the lazy river. Because it was the one at the top of my head. But there you go, family. Come on now. Get strong through this transition. You got it. You got it. And we are transitioning together into 2025. All right, family. Well, that is another episode of the Mental Health is a Lifestyle podcast with your girl, Andrea Wise-Brown. And remember, family, take all of the things that I tell you here in my stories, my scenarios, put yourself in them, draw some parallels, and create some change into your life. Create some change into your life. And I will see you on the next episode. I love you. I love you. I love you.